Hello and welcome to our number talk. Today we are looking at the expression 63 minus 25. What we do in a number talk is we use mental math. That means no paper, no pencil, to try to solve an expression, and then we explore all the different ways we could have used to figure it out. So before we go any further, let's do that. Pause the video, work out 63 minus 25 in your head. When you have your solution, unpause the video, and we will explore all of the different strategies together. So the first thing that we could do is to use the strategy adding up. And what we do is we start with our subtrahend. Now the subtrahend, that's the fancy name for the second or smaller number in a subtraction problem. And so we're going to start with our subtrahend 25, and we're going to take some jumps. We're going to first get up to our next 10, so that's going to be a plus 5. Because once we get up to our next 10, we can make a big jump. What our goal here is to get up to that minuend. The minuend is the fancy name for that large number, that first number. So we want to get up to 63, but what we're going to do is we're going to take a big jump to the nearest 10. So what's the nearest 10 in front of 63? And it's 60. So once we've done a jump from 5 to get up to 30, we could take one big jump, and that's going to be 40, 50, 60, an extra 30. And then we take one little tiny jump to get us from 60 to 63. And so what we could do is we could just add up these three little numbers here. 5 and 30 is 35. Add the 3 is going to be 38. So hopefully you got 38 as the difference when you work this out in your head. Now we could also use a strategy called compensation. And so what we do here is we take our subtrahend, remember that's our second number, and we're going to add something to it to get it up to the next 10. So our next 10 is 30, so let's add 5. And the reason I want to add 5 is because take a look at this problem now. 63 minus 30 is very easy, right? Because there is no regrouping necessary. We can do that in our head without a problem. But remember we added 5, so we made our subtrahend larger than it needed to be, which means we took away 5 more than we really should have. We should have taken away 25, but we took away 30, which means I've got to give those 5 back. I took away 5 extra, so let's give 5 back. And so that gets us back to our difference of 38, which is where we need to be. So compensation can work if you add 5 to the subtrahend, and then you add 5 again to that difference. Now, we can also count back. That's a lot like adding up. Except, as you could probably guess, we are going to start right here with our minuend. Remember, that's the first term. And instead of going forward, we're just going to go backwards. So let's just always go to your next 10. Right below, that's a 60. Let's just do some jumps of 10. So some of us don't like that big jump of 30, so we're just going to do some jumps of 10. So that's going to be 40. Now we're going to get to our 10 of 30. And we've got to take a little tiny jump to 25, and that's going to get us to our subtrahend. And so we can start from our big number and jump back, and that's perfectly fine. So let's add these up. 3 and 10 is 13, 23, 33, add that 5, 33 and 5 is 38 once again. Now, constant difference is a fun strategy, and it's actually pretty interesting. It works kind of like what we did with our compensation. So we're going to add 5 to this 25, just because subtracting 30, if you can get that subtrahend to a multiple of 10, then any subtraction is going to be super easy. But remember, we also had to add the 5 back in after we subtracted. Let's just go ahead and do that right here. Let's add our 5 to our minuend. So look what I have now. I have a balanced expression because I added 5 to both terms. Both the minuend and the subtrahend have an extra 5, which means I've kept those two numbers the same distance apart. So I have a brand new problem, 68 minus 30. But that's the exact same distance apart as 63 minus 25. But look how much easier this is to subtract. So constant difference is one of my favorite mental math strategies, just because it makes it so much easier. Because you get to that same difference, it's just a lot easier to use mental math for. So these are all the strategies that I can think of to subtract 63 minus 25. If you can come up with another one, that's wonderful. Go ahead and add that as a comment on the video. If you are a teacher and would like a copy of the slide deck for your own use in the classroom, you can find it on my website, 5minutemath.net.